Let us look at the example. In this example, I require multiple users because one guy is going to submit, other one is going to accept it. That is the reason I am logging. Now there are two users working on the same application. Application is same, but multiple users are going to work on the same application. What is the navigation that we have for the approval process? Setup, build, create, workflows and approvals. We have approval process. What is the navigation that we had? Setup, build, workflows and approvals. We have approval process. Now, as I discussed, there are two types of process wizards. One is a jump start wizard. Second one is going to be jump start wizard. Okay. Second one we have standard setup wizard. Jump start wizard. Another one is going to be standard setup wizard. Now, when you say jump start wizard, what does it mean? It is a single step, single process. Single step, simple process. When you say standard setup wizard, it is a multi-step or single step with a complex process. Single step with complex process or multi-step. Single step with multi-process or complex process. Right. Now let us go to the next one. So if you are trying to create here now, I have decided to go with a standard setup wizard. I have chosen, let us say, account. But if I go with account object, the problem what I have is only Salesforce licensed users will have access on the account. People who have Salesforce platform license, they won't have access to the CRM objects. That is the reason I will try to take a custom object so that I can have multiple users. Now I am going with customer object, or let us say course. Let us make it very simple. Course object. Standard setup wizard. Process name. New course approval. Then we have criteria met. I can give course. Do you think every course I told, boss, it's not necessary that it is necessary that every course record should be approved. Now I don't want a specific record. I want every course record should be approved. Now if I want every course record to be approved, every record should be submitted for approval process. I want every course record should be submitted for approval process. So there is no entry criteria. Every record should be submitted. Then let us go to the next one. Now, do you want to automate it? You want the record has to go to your manager, your hierarchical manager. Then I told not necessary. I will decide whom to submit later. Now, record editability. Once a record is submitted, record is logged. Once the record is logged, who can edit the data? The moment you submit the record for approval, record is logged. When the record is logged, who can approve the record? Who can edit the record? Who can modify the data in the record? The moment I submit, your record is logged. When the record is logged, who can edit the data in the record? Record editability. There are two choices. First choice says only admin can do it. Second choice says admin as well as currently assigned approver both can do it. So whatever the option I want, I can choose it. Next, email template. Do you want to send any notification? We can choose an email template. Next, which fields you want to display? I want to display course name, faculty name, fee. Now, do you want to show the previous history? Previous history. I told you, yes, show me previous history so that it's easy for me to approve or reject. How can I approve it? Can I approve the record only from Salesforce? Or can I approve the record from wireless device also, like email, chatter, and etc.? Who can submit the record? I told student can submit the record. You have submitted. Now the submission phase is done. The moment you submit the record, do you want any action to be performed? Initial submission action. The moment the record is submitted for approval, do you want any initial action to be performed? When record is submitted, send an email. When record is submitted, send a task. When record is submitted, set the status equal to pending. So the moment you submit the record for approval, do you want to set the action? Do you want to set any specific action? If you want to perform any specific action, give it as initial submission action. Then I have approval steps. New approval step. Alright. Now the question is, every record that you submit, should it come to Satish for approval? Every record that you submit, should it come to Satish for approval? No, boss. Only when a particular condition is met, send it to Satish. Otherwise, directly approve it. You submitted. If the condition is met, then send it to Satish. Otherwise, directly approve it. When the condition is met, send it to Satish. Otherwise, directly reject it. Now, you want every record to be submitted to the approver directly, or you have a condition only when the condition is met, then you want to submit the record. That we have to decide. That's what it says. All the records should enter this step. Every record you submit should go to this particular person for approval. Not every record, only specific records. Now when I say condition is met, if fee is greater than 5,000, then send it to Satish. Fee is less than 5,000 directly, or else your choice. Condition is met, approve it. Condition is met, submit. Condition is not met, approve it or reject it as per your criteria. In my case, I told approve it. Who is the approver? Assign the approver here. I told submit to Satish. Submit to Satish. Now, the moment you approve, you want to perform any action. The moment you reject, you want to perform any action, that will receive. Right. First of all, this guy should have permission on course object. There is no permission on course object. Go to the user. Edit. Student already permission is there, still is not able to see. Go to this, click on plus sign. New course. $3,000. When I said 3,000, submit for approval. I told if it is more than 5,000, then only submit to Satish. Otherwise, directly approve. So what happened here? Record is amount is less than 5,000. Don't send it to Satish. Directly approve it. As it is less than 5,000, directly we are approving it. I told who can unlock the record? Approver or administrator. Okay. Now let us see the next one. The same record I am making 7,000. Again submitting the record. Now as the amount is more than 7,000, now it is not approved. Send to Satish for approval. I told if it is less than 5,000, directly approve it. If it is more than 5,000, send it to Satish. I told, do you want every record to be submitted to Satish? I told, no, not every record. The records which are meeting this condition, only they should be submitted. Rest of the records should be approved again. If we say rejected, they will be rejected. Okay. Now, Satish will go back. We will go to home page. Items to approve or it will reject. He rejected the course. I hope you are good with this. So we are submitting the record. Let me make a quick implementation from the beginning, which will make it easy for you to understand the complete procedure. Now I have 3 users. I will also log in as a third user. Try to understand this. Administer, manage users. Let me student who logged in here. It is Satish who logged in. Now initially I am creating a object here. Look at this. Try to understand. You can say that I am creating here. Couple of fields I am creating. I am giving couple of fields. So we have pending, approved. This is a creation of object. I am making it fast. There is no concept. I am just creating the object with the fields. We have done this number of times. I am moving it fast. Right, boss. Let us come back now. Look at this. We had a object, app object, edit. Then now object is done. I was trying to create a tab for it. Tab is created. Now this object should be visible to all the three people because we are going to work on this object. Divya is going to work, student is going to work, Satish is going to work. Now manage users, profile, student, edit. Tab. We give an access. Similarly, next one. Who is the other profile we have? Clerk. Divya has a clerk profile. So we are scrolling to Divya, granting access on the profile. So that all the people have access to the object here. Now I have a requirement. Try to understand the concept now. Once again, I am making it. Setup. Build. Create. Then we had workflows and approvals. Approval process. Then choose the course. Choose the object. Then what type of wizard is this? Jumpstart, standard setup wizard. Then I gave third area. Do you have any condition? Now, if you want to mention the condition, you can mention it. Right now, I don't have any condition. Every record has to go to, every record can be submitted for approval. Then do you want to automate it? Yes, I want to automate it. It has to goes to sales manager. Whoever is submitting the record to his sales manager. Then we have sales manager or sales or the record owner's manager. If you want the record owner manager, this is what I have to select. The next one. Do you want to send any email template? Choose it. The email template will go. Next email will go with the template. What fields we have? City. This is what we got here. Approval page fields. Display approval history. Security settings. Approve it. Approve it. Salesforce or externally enabled devices. Who can submit the record? Divya can submit the record. Okay. Now you want to take an approval process? Yes. What is my requirement? The moment you submit the record, initial submission. The moment you submit the record, make a field update. Status pin. The moment you submit the record, the value of the status should be modified as. The moment you submit the record, automatically set the status equal to pending. Then submit the record. Now I have two. Okay, look at the point. I have parallel. Next. Every record should go. I told you yes, every record should go. To whom it should be submitted? I told it should be submitted to Satish and student. What happened? You are submitting the record to two people. You are submitting the record to two people. When you submit the record to two people, both of them may approve, may not approve. Then what is the solution for it? Now we have parallel approval process. When you submit the record to more than one user, we call it as parallel approval process. When you submit record to more than one user, we call it as parallel approval process. In that, there are two options. First option is approve or reject based on first response. Whoever gives first reply, that is the final decision. I submitted to manager 1, manager 2. So whichever the manager gives me the first reply, that is the final decision. It is called first response approval. When I submit the record, whoever give me the first reply, that is the final decision. Second one, require unanimous approval from all the selected approvers. Everybody has to approve it, then only record is approved. So when I submit the record to more than one user, you have two choices: first response approval or unanimous approval. First response means whoever is giving the first reply, that is the final response. Whoever is giving the final reply, that is the final one. Now it is called first response. Look at this. Approve or reject based on first response. The next one we had require unanimous. When is it required unanimous? Everyone has to approve it, then only we are going to approve it. I told first response. Okay. Then when you approve, what will happen? Approval steps. When you approve, what will happen? If the record is approved, field update. Approved. If you reject, rejection. Status. This is how we have got. So if it is approved, modified. Rejected, modified. So that I know whether it is approved or not. Activate. Okay. Now, because we created the fields using schema builder, on the fields also you don't have permission. What should I do? Go to security levels, field accessibility, then app object. See whether you have permission on the fields also. View by profile. Which profile Divya has? Look at this. Fields are hidden. Because when you build the fields using schema builder, fields will not be added to the page layout. So I can go to either object and add the fields to the page layout, or else I can go to profile and add it. Better I'll go to the object so that I can do all at a time. Okay. Now go to Divya. App. New. Divya is trying to create. Then look at this. I am not selecting any one of these. Then Divya is submitting the record for. When Divya submits the record for approval, I told record should be submitted to Satish and student. You are able to see record is submitted to Satish and student. Now it is what? Parallel approval process. In the parallel approval process, what happened? When the record was submitted, I gave first response. Student gave a first response. He told record is approved. So whoever gives the first reply, there is a final. So Satish has not approved. Only student has approved, but still the record is approved. Is that was clear? Because I gave first response approval. When you submit the record to more than one person, if you select first response, whoever gives the first reply, that is a final reply. Let us go to the second one. The same one I am modifying it again. I told require unanimous. When you say requires unanimous approval, go to submit for approval. When you say submit for approval, what was this? Record was submitted to Satish and student. Now, like previously, student only responded first and it only approved it. But I think it's not saved it. Require unanimous approval. Okay. Let me refresh it. Submit the record. When you submit the record was submitted. Then student approved it because why it was done? Because student only submitting it. It is not the student who has submitted. Divya is supposed to submit. There is a reason it is missing the flow. There is a reason it is missing the flow. Who was supposed to submit? App. Save it. Submit the record. Record was submitted to Satish and student. Now go to student. Then student is approving it. Now when approved, why the process is coming like this? Okay. Now it is approved. Approved. Go to administrator. Still there is a bug with the application here. So my action says fine. Now why it is making this format? Because I am not changing this. I was not working on. I didn't change on application object. I was changing on course object. That's the reason it is getting approved. That's what we are saying. We gave the process as right. Go to this workflows, approval process, app object, edit, edit. I was supposed to make a change here, but I was making a change on course object. Next, what was this required? This is the change what I was supposed to make it. Go back here, again resubmit, again submit the record. When you submit the record, This Satish and student go to the student. Now student is approving his record. Approve from student only, not from. So status is what? Because I told unanimous. When you say unanimous, everyone has to approve the record. Then only record is approved. The mistake what I made is I was modifying on the codes but applying the condition on. That is the reason why we got error in the 2 examples. Now he rejected it, so record was rejected. So parallel approval process. How many types of parallel approval process we have? 2 types. So in 2 types, first response or unanimous. First response means whoever give the reply first, that is the final one. Unanimous means everyone has to approve. Right. To how many people I can submit? I can submit the record to 25 people. In a single step, I can submit the record to how many people? 25 people. In a single step, I can submit the record to 25 users. In a single step, I can submit the records to 25 users. In a single step, I can submit the record to 25 users. Is that was clear? Unanimous and first response. Unanimous means everyone has to approve it. First response means whoever give the first reply. Whoever give the first reply, that will be the final response. I hope you are good with this example. Okay. Now let us take the next case. I have next approval. I am going to create multi-step approval process. I am going to create multi-step approval process. First, the record will go to my manager. Once the record will go to Satish, Satish approves. Record will go to Satish manager. Otherwise, when Divya submit, record will go to student. Okay, when student approve, record will go to student's manager. Multiple approval process I want to create. Now, what is the procedure? We have done this approval process on Classic. Let us do it on the Lightning also. In the Lightning, what is the procedure we have? In the Lightning, what is the process? Setup, platform tools, process automation, approval process. Then here we have next case here. Look at the case. Object is app object. Use standard approval process. Then we have process name. We have the process name here. I told multi-step approval. Next, condition, no condition, approver, manager. Who can unlock the record? Administrator or currently assigned approver. Email template, leave it. Next, which fields? Last name, first name, then I have city, amount. Do you want to show the history? I told yes. How can I approve it? Salesforce or wireless. Then go to next. Who can submit the record? I told Divya can submit. Right. This is the first step which I have done number of times. This we are going to understand it carefully. Right. Initial submission. The moment you submit the record, I told add the existing action, status equal to. The moment you submit the record, status is updated as approval steps, new approval step. First, the record is submitted to student for approval. Every record should go to student? Yes. Every record has to go to student. Now, assign to. Once the student approve, you submit the record to student. Once the student approve it, what will happen? If student approve, we'll update. Approve. Student rejected. If rejected, right, this is how we got it. Then if student approved, next approval process. Now, every record that is approved by student should go to manager. I told not necessary. Not necessary. Only when amount is, what was that? First name, last name, manager. I also give one field like let us say city. Whose city equals to only after student approved, only Hyderabad records will go to manager. Rest all the records will be directly approved. If student approved, it's approved. If city equal to Hyderabad, then city equal to Hyderabad, then should be approved by manager also. Now they ask, student approved, manager rejected. Student approved, manager rejected. When student approved and manager rejected, do you want the process to be cancelled or I have to go to the previous step? Now just reject the current step, go to the previous step or cancel entire process. Now there are step 1, step 2, step 3. Step 1 approved, step 2 approved, step 3 rejected. Should I come back to step 2 or should I close the operation? That's what they're asking. Perform rejection action of this step and final rejection action. Perform only this step rejection. I told perform everything as rejection. Then they ask if this step is approved, manager also approved, what I want to do? Show action. Manager approved, then I told RM approved. RM rejected. Right, boss? So first submitted to student, student approved. If it is Hyderabad, go to manager, manager approved. If both of them approved, final approval. If both of them approved, then status. If any one of them rejected, I hope you're good with this. So how many steps are involved? 2-step approval process. Now, first, Divya submitted the record for approval. Then Divya submitted the record for approval. Record is submitted to. Go to student. Look at the status is. Why? Initial action. Then student approved the record. When student approved the record, record is approved. Why? City is not Bangalore, okay, not Hyderabad. If it is Hyderabad, I need the approval of manager. Otherwise, it is done. That's why they told manager approved. Finally, what is that? Final status is approved. If manager approved, finally it is approved. When? If it is not Hyderabad. Suppose I am going to implement one more example. Look at this. Look at the values what I am giving. Manager none, status none. Both of them are none. City, Hyderabad. I have not given any status. The moment you submit the record, initial submission action. Status equal to, then submit it to student. When I go to student, then approved. Student approved. When student approved, manager approved. Finally, it is approved or not? No. Still, it is not approved because it is not a final step. Okay. Then went to then what is the history? Where is the history? My then manager. Still, what is the data here? Manager approved, but regional manager still it is. Regional manager still it is pending. Let me go to the classic and show you. Regional manager is still pending. Okay. Then what I can do? Yeah, also this regional manager rejected. The regional manager rejected. The regional manager rejected. Finally, it is multi-step. So how many steps are there? Every step will have approval action, rejection action. Finally, if the record is approved, final approval, final rejection. Are you getting my point here? So multi-step approval. Now we have multiple steps here. Then in the multiple steps, you have 2 points. What is that? If the step 1 is approved, step 2 is rejected, should I come back to the first point or should I come back to the previous point? Step 1, step 2, step 3, step 3 rejected, should I come to step 2 again or should I cancel entire operation, go to 0? Is that was clear? Clear? What type of actions we have? Every step has approval action, every step has rejection action. Final approval action, final rejection action. Are you clear about this? Yeah. Two approvals. First student, then followed by Satish. Now multiple things, no? They went to, they didn't go to regional manager. I gave the field name as RM manager. Field name I gave as regional manager. See, what is this field? Is a picklist field. Whatever the name I want, I can give. So I gave the name of this field as RM manager. See, who submitted the record? Divya. Record went to whom? Student. Student approved. It went to whom? Student's manager. Who is student manager? Satish. Did I mention anywhere Satish? No. I told send it to manager. Whose manager? Second step. Second step. First step I told send it to student. Step number 1 in the approval process 1. Look at this definition. Process 1. In the process 1, who is my approver? Student. In the process 1, I didn't say send it to manager. I told send it to student. So when Divya submitted, automatically it went to student. When the student approved, I told send it to whose manager? Second step, who is approving it? Student is approving. When student approves it, the record is sent to student's manager for approval. That's how the record came to Satish. Got my point? Okay. First step I told send it to student. Second step I told send it to whoever is approving his manager. So second step we have student manager is approving it. Who is nothing but student manager is nothing but Satish. Alright, are you clear? Right. Now let us go to the next one. Here we have next process here. We are trying to understand the next process here, which is a how to post a message. I told we can send a notification using email, or we can send a notification using Charter. Email, we know we have done all the email templates. Let us go to Charter and complete the example. Setup, build, customize, Charter. In the Charter we have Charter, customize, Charter, Charter settings. Enable the Charter. Scroll down. Allow approvals using. So, what is the navigation? Setup, build, customize, Charter. Setup, build, customize, Charter. Setup, build, customize, Charter. Enable the Charter. Allow the approvals. Then go back. Customize, Charter. Now we got here feed tracking. Now on which object you want to create a rule here? Let us say I want to create on customer object or payment object. Anything is available here. Okay. Branch object. I want to create on the branch object. Then here we have enable. Right. Once you are done with this, what type of action we have seen as of now? Email alert, field update, outbound message, task. Field update, outbound message, okay, task. Okay, here we are going to create a post template. What was that? Build, create, workflows. Here we have post template, new template. Which object is that? Branch. Post template on branch object. Branch name, phone. I created a action like a field update, outbound, task, email. We have a action called post template. Provided you have to go to Charter, enable the Charter, and enable the feed tracking. Enable the Charter, enable the feed tracking. Then go to the approval process. How do you create approval process? Once again, build, create, workflows and approvals, approval process. Which object is that? Branch. Then branch approval. Next, you want to give condition, you can give no. Now, to whom you want to send? Whose manager? Record owner's manager. This time I told records owner's manager. Now look at this email template and also post. Next, LOLS. These all steps are common. Who can submit the record? Video. Then action. Approval action. Owner's manager. Activity. owner's manager. Then go to Divya. Branch she is not able to see. Divya branch. New branch. Submit for approval. Now, before Divya submit the record for approval, who is the owner of the record? Divya. Who is the owner of the record? Divya. Now, who is the Divya's manager? Record owners. Now, I want to say record owners manager. I'll make small change here. Look at the point. Who is the person who is submitting the record? Divya is submitting, right? But owner of the record is now look at this. Who is the person who is submitting? Divya. But who is the owner of the record? Divya is submitting, owner is student. Now I told submit the record to owner's manager. Divya manager is student, student manager is Satish. Now when Divya submit the record, will it go to Divya's manager? Because the owner is student, will it go to student manager? I told submit the record to record owner's manager. By default, whose manager? Submitter's manager. But in this case, I told submit the record to record owner's manager. Submit. Divya submitted, but it went to Satish. Divya submitted, but it went to Satish. Because the record owner's manager. So go to this guy. I hope you are good with this example. I hope you are good with this example. So record is submitted to submitter's manager or record owner's manager. Now look at this. In the charter, I got a message. In the charter, I got a message. What is it? Approve or reject. I am approving the record through what? Charter. Because I told charter post. Because I told it's a charter post. Because you told allow charter post, we are able to submit the record. We are able to submit the record, and the approver is going to approve the record using charter. Is that was clear for everyone? Clear for everyone? Okay. Once again, I am going to do it. Once again, I am submitting the record. Try to understand. Divya sent an email. They sent an email to me. In the email, I am giving a reply. In the email, I am giving a reply. When provided, if I have the permission to approve through email. Now the approval process is accepting the email approval, but you should be having the permission to approve it through email. Email approval. Are you getting my point? So wireless means you can approve from charter, you can approve from email, or you can log into Salesforce and approve it. Is that was clear? Okay. Now the final point here what we discuss is, boss, on behalf of you, I want somebody else to approve it. In my option, you are submitting the record to me. In my option, I want somebody else to approve it. You are submitting the record to me. On my options, I want somebody else to approve it. What is this called? We call him as a delegated approval. What is the process called? Delegated approval. I am delegating somebody to approve on my behalf. I am delegating somebody to approve on my behalf. The record which is submitted to me, I can approve it on my behalf. You can also approve it. Now, when Divya submit the record is going to whom? Satish. Okay. Now, what they are saying? Look at the point. Record is going to manager. At the bottom, what we have? Approved delegated. Approvers delegated may also approve. So, on your behalf, your delegated user can also approve. Who is your delegated user? Go to user. Go to Satish. Hold on. Manager, reporting manager. Here we have what? Delegated. My delegated manager is student. On my behalf, student can also approve the record. Go back here. The record is approved. Okay. Again, I am submitting the record. When you submit the record is submitted to whom? Divya submitted the record went to Satish for approval. But what happened? Student. What happened? Student. It is not the Satish. Student. Open testing. It is a student. He told. Record was submitted to Satish actually, but it's approved by student. Why? Because I told my delegated can also approve it. On my behalf, my delegated can also approve it. Okay. So this is a approval process. Let us come to a conclusion, proper conclusion. I'll give you the quick points here. First, let us take one by one steps here. What is parallel approval process? What is parallel approval process? If the record is submitted to more than one user in a single step, then we call it as there are two types of parallel approval process. First response approval or then unanimous. When you say first response, when you submit the record to more than one person, whoever is giving the first reply, that is considered as final. Unanimous, everyone has to approve it. The next one. Then, to how many people you can submit? Define. Who can approve it? Who can be approver? User, automated user, or you can submit a record to user, automated user, your manager, your HR manager, queue. If we submit the record to a queue, what will happen? You can approve it, your manager can approve it. If you submit the record to a queue, what will happen? You can approve it. Now, if it is an automated user or a queue, if you submit the record to a queue, anyone can approve it. The queue means what? If I submit the record to a queue, if I submit a record to a queue, if it is a queue, what will happen? Any one of the user in the queue can approve it. Any one of the user in the queue can approve it. Right. Now let us go to the next one. Try to understand the flow. Everyone look at the point, listen carefully. Everyone listen carefully here. On an object, we are getting a approval process. What is the first step we have? Now let us go to the next one here. Enter the process name. Step 2, enter entry condition. Next, step 3. Step 3, choose the automated user. If any, record AWT. Record AWT. Who can edit it? Admin or then step number 4, notify. How do you notify? Using email or then step number 5, what is step number 5? Field approval layout. On the approval page, which field should be visible? Then approval history and security settings. What is security settings? Approve from Salesforce or approve from Salesforce or wireless page. Right. Let us go to the next one. Step number 6. Initial submitter. Then recall action. These are the steps involved in the first phase, submission phase. These are the steps involved in the first phase. Record, process name, what is the entry condition if you have any. Okay, choose automated user if you have any. Record AWT, who will be automated user? Any one of the hierarchical field. Record AWT, the moment you submit the record is logged. The record can be approved or rejected. Okay, the record can be edited by admin and approver. Then step 4, how do you notify? Email template or charter template. Step 5, approval layout. On the approval layout, what fields will be visible? Approval history, who can approve it? Like how can you approve it? Salesforce page or Salesforce page and wireless. Who can submit? Recall action. Then once you submit, they have a condition. Do you want every record to enter the step? Do you want every record to enter this step? Every record. No, not every record. Only a few records. Not every record. Then we have condition. If condition is true, condition is false. If condition is true, if the condition is false. If the condition is false, we have approve or reject as per your choice. Right. In the approval step, we need to choose who is the approver. Who is the approver? User, automated, then if the approver approves, now approver approved. If approver approved, now if it is approved action, rejected action. If it is approved, we have one action. Rejected also we have one. How do we know that it is rejected? I have to send an email or I have to update a field. Okay, boss, your loan is rejected. Boss, your application is rejected. Your loan is approved. I want to send an email to the corresponding. Approved. If it is approved, then they have. Once approved, every record should go to second step or only few records. Now you say every record should go to second step. Multi-step approval. No, not every record. If it is not every record, condition. Same story, second step also. Now, every record should go to approval step. Yes, every record you submit will go to the approval. Step number 1. In the step number 1, the person will take a decision to approve or reject. No, not every record. I have a condition. Records which are meeting the condition, only they will be sent to the step 1. Which are not meeting the condition, approve or reject. If it is approved, what is the approval action? Rejected, what is the rejected action? If you have one more step, they ask you, every record that entered that is approved in the step number 1, should it go to step number 2? Every record that is entered in the step number 1, every record that is approved in the step number 1, should it be accepted in the step number 2? Should it go to step number 2? Or only few records of step number 1 should go to step number 2? Did you get my point here? Let me give you one more quick flow. I hope you got the point. Okay. Once again, I'll re-explain the structures. First, we are choosing object. In the object, what is the step 1 we had? Step 1. Step 1. Enter process name. Enter process name. Then we have step 2. The step 2, specify the entry criteria. Specify entry criteria. If you want It is not mandatory that you have to define. If you want, you define which records can be submitted to, which records can be submitted for approval. Then step 3. What is step 3? Notify. Step 3. Notify the approver. How do you notify? By using email or charter template. Notify approver. Then next one is, what is the next step we have? Approval layout. I missed out one step. Nobody is informing. What was that step? Then automated user. This should be what? Step 3. Choose the automated user, if any. Automated user. Then we have record. Record editability. Then record editability. Then how do you notify? Notify approver. Once you notify approver, then we had approval page layout. Approval page layout. Then approval history. How to approve. Then we have initial. This is how we got it. This is all what? Submission. All this is submission phase. Then once you submit, they have a condition. Every record that is submitted should go to step number 1. Every record that is submitted should go to step number 1. Every record that you submitted should go to step number 1. No, only few, not every record. Then I have a condition here. Not every record, I have a condition. The records which are meeting the condition, they will be submitted. The records which are meeting condition, they are submitted. No, the records which are not meeting the condition, they are approved or right. Once you go to step number 1, who is the approver in the step? Who is the approver? How many approvers? Is it a single approval or parallel approval? Delegated can approve it. Now, when you go to step 1, who is the approver? How many approvals are there? A single step may have multiple approvals. That's what we have seen as parallel approval process. Now, can a delegated approve it? Now, what is the action for this? If the step is approved, what is the approval action? What is the for every step we have approval action, rejection action. Approval action, rejection action. Now, do you have any step number 2? Approval step 1, approval step 2. What was this? Do you want every record to go to step number 2? All no. No. Yeah. If condition is false, if condition is false, approve. If condition is meeting, go to step number 2. Otherwise, directly approve it. Step number 2 again. In the step number 2, again the condition goes. Who is the approver? Now the point of giving the second step is, if second step is rejected, should I go to first step or cancel the operation? If second step is rejected, should I go to first step or cancel the entire operation? So this is how the process is going on. I hope you are good with this. Now let us have technical terms at every level. Step number 2, specify entry criteria. How can we specify entry criteria? Formula based or criteria based? Now, if it is a criteria based, which fields I can use? My fields, my parent record, master record fields. How many conditions we can write? 25 conditions. Step number 3, automated user. Who is this automated user? Any one of the hierarchical field. Whose hierarchical field? Submitter's hierarchical field or owner? By default, submitter hierarchical field. If you want the record to be submitted to record owner's hierarchical field, we need to enable the checkbox. Then record eligibility. The moment you submit the record, automatically record is logged. The moment you submit the record, automatically record is logged. And who can unlock the record? Now there are 2 choices. Administrator can unlock, or administrator and currently assigned approver can unlock. Whichever the choice you have chosen. Notify approver. How many ways we can notify? 2 ways. Email, charter. How do you create a charter? Setup, build, customize, charter, enable charter, allow approvals. Setup, build, customize, charter. Okay. Then we have feed enabled. Go to the object and enable the fields. Then approver page. Finally, when the record is submitted, approver want to approve the record. How the record is visible to you? Approval page level, which field should be visible to you. Then, should I show the approval history? Should I show the approval history? If you want to show the approval history, then choose it. No, I don't want to show the approval history, disable it. Finally, how can I approve it? There are 2 choices, Salesforce or wireless. Okay, initial submitter. Finally, who can submit the record? Once you submit, can every record go to approval step? Yes. Then every record will go to step number 1. Approver has to approve or reject. Not every record. Only records which are meeting the condition they have to go. Remaining records directly approve or reject. Any fresher who is recruited with a salary less than 15,000, okay, this can be approved by the HR manager directly. No need to come to me. Directly it is approved. Any fresher recruited more than 20,000 salary should be sent to the manager for approval. Now what happened? If salary is less than 15, directly approved. If it is more than 15, then only it goes to manager. Are you getting my point again? Okay. When you go to the approval step, who can approve? A user, automated user, or a delegated can approve it. Okay. I hope you are good. Lot of theory. Okay, copies are given. Hard copies are given to you. Can you call that boy, boss? Right. And tomorrow we have a session. Okay. So yeah, tomorrow we have a session. I'll be covering single sign-on and I'll be covering a Salesforce to Salesforce integration. Class will be at 8:30. 8:30 I'll be starting. Okay, probably it will take a 1 hour session. Right, boss. 8:30 to 9:30 we'll be having a session. Tomorrow I'll be covering, right. No, I'm not giving in. I'm not asking opinion. Tomorrow class is there. Right. Don't be surprised. Class will be there. So tomorrow we have a class. We'll be conducting the Salesforce to Salesforce integration topic and single sign-on. This topic is a combined class basically. Again, if I have to take combined, it will take 1 or 2 months time. Right. So tomorrow we'll be having a session at 8:30. 8:30 means 8:30 a.m. only. Right. Will not be delayed. 8:30 I'll be starting the class. Probably. But there is not integration. Without programming, how to integrate. Without writing a program, how to integrate the Salesforce to Salesforce and transfer the data. That's what we are going to cover tomorrow. Right. Tomorrow class will be at 8:30 a.m. I'll be starting. Probably take around 1 hour, maximum 1 hour it takes. Right. Chalo boss.
Hello, Satish sir.